playing this smart game. They can't.
Shot is so good right now. I still get the better.
Optic has to all the time. They can't just give this up uncontested. That goes without saying, I feel like. You know, you look at Envy and then Luminosity.
All sorts of angles. The assists come in. The whole kill feed is blue. This is just getting out of hand as Optic are now getting beat.
With the way they've been playing for a very long time, this is their bread and butter.
Yep.
This is the game mode that they are the best at, that they have really asserted their dominance in. Apathy just goes into the hill, picks up a two-piece here. He's going to juggle it, try and pick up one more, earn these streaks as well. Formal's going to clean him up, but 2 more kills coming in the backside. John and JCap with 1 apiece. The hill just going back.
They can potentially drop both now to Envy. As the rotation kills are coming in, it does look like right now Formal doing what he can as he's kind of getting pinched from bike path. Thankfully, Scump with some help. There you go, gets the win onto John. Optic will win the kills on rotation and get the early time.
And if you're Optic Gaming, you need a lot of time here on bike path. You need to build up some streaks, and then potentially if you do earn those streaks, you save them. You let the baseball go to Envy at the beginning, then you use them to break, but you see more streaks coming in for the side of Envy. Score streaks coming up big in this series for the Envy boys.
Dude, Karma is just flying around, stays alive now. 30 more seconds that Optic can get here, and I believe all of JCap's streaks are gone. So this is absolutely still possible for OG. They just need to continue to play the way that they know they can.
Things are going to get interesting here, Jack. If Optic Gaming can win this rotation over towards baseball, where you see...
Probably give it the rest of his time, but somehow Karma is still alive. OG on the rotation. What was a 100-second lead, now down to just 60. Scump still staying alive, nearly gets both, but Formal and crew are still here for the baseball field hardpoint. They've got players watching blue, but their weak point is middle map, and I do believe Envy have recognized that as they begin to flood on in. Slasher with the entry kill, Apathy with one of his own. It looks like it's now collapsing onto Optic as Formal's the last one here. What can he get done? Can't find the final 2. As Envy, nice break, they'll look to regain their lead.
Such a crucial break for ends up for the rest of the team. See, Apathy is going to get one more there. Nice kill. Has the reactive armor as well. See when that comes into play.
John with his payload, Apathy with his payload, Slasher with his payload, and JCap about to earn his. He's got streaks as well. This Envy team, you could be seeing the squad that could make it towards this grand finals later on this weekend from this winner's bracket side. But obviously they've got to move through Luminosity and one more team first if they want to get there, as well as close out the series. John is just not meant.
And now John has earned himself streaks, so that's going to eliminate Optic Gaming from taking bike path and baseball in the next rotation. Is not looking good for the green wall.
Every player in the lobby about to earn their payload. They're saving them for a new money hill. What can Optic Gaming do? They're still down by 100 seconds. Envy look lights out at the moment. As really Envy can give up the rest of this time if they'd like to and just play towards this new hill as 2 players are spawning out. They've got to begin to figure out exactly where they can put in this pressure. It looks like they'll try to hit middle map, but Karma's there with the MV4.
Yeah, the 2 players we talked a little bit about pregame, John and Formal. You see John, full streaks right now, 29 and 22, leads the lobby in kills. Formal on the other side, 18 and 23. He's not going to have as many engagements as John, not playing the same type of aggressive role. He's going to play in the back for those spawns, but you see such a good job that JCap and Slasher have done just getting to those positions a little bit faster.
Well, here we go towards Barn. It's now Scump watching over Lemon. It's John getting the better of him there. We did the key player matchup breakdown between those 2 prior to the uplink, and it's showing again here. Envy in the hard point with reactive. It's Apathy with 2 kills of his own. Optic being forced out towards field, but Scump using his payload. I talked about how every player in the lobby had theirs. Envy want to close it out here. They've dropped down the Centurion. They've got Optic spawning out. Can they do it, Matt?
And even if they don't take it here, Envy, they do have the streaks for baseball and the bike path, so it is not looking good for OG. They need all the rest of this time on this hill. They need players to also start rotating over towards bike path.
Yeah, that's the worry now for Optic is you have to keep pressure towards the scrap time and towards a new hard point. You basically need lights out gunfights. Last time on this hill, it was Karma going off there. You see the 4 times multi-kill with that Erad. Scump in the first one in this bike path side, but here come those streaks you talked about, Matt. So deadly on bike path, and Scump's already cleaned out of the hard point.
Yeah, it just forces him underneath. It's an easy kill once you know exactly where Scump is. The rest of the members of OG fall. We talked about how big those streaks would be, Jack. Envy gets a break off it.
Envy could win it right here, 3 seconds away. All 4 dead on Optic Gaming. It's John saying, get out of my lobby. The boys in blue, again, in winner's bracket round 1, defeat Optic Gaming 3-1. and they'll move on to face Luminosity tomorrow on Championship Sunday.
A really strong performance there by Envy, taking 2 hard points against Optic Gaming in commanding fashion. And Jack, and it was, I think, Optic Gaming just letting Envy get such a big lead. Envy, such a smart team. They brought the slaying power. They used those streaks effectively on the hard points where they knew Optic could not get holds, and just built these large leads that OG cannot come back from.
That's the standout thing for me as well, Matt. The use of streaks was perfect from Envy throughout that entire series. JCap and crew, they look like a new beast this weekend here at the CWL Atlanta Open, and now we have ourselves a picture being formed. We know E United have moved on as they beat Splice. We know Luminosity after defeating Rise, and now obviously Envy over Optic Gaming. FaZe versus 3G was going on last. I saw FaZe was up 2-0. I'm sure that series is now done, and I know the studio will definitely update you there, but it's looking like we're starting to see our top 4 in the winners bracket begin to develop.
Yeah, it's a very good performance by Envy in this one. Excited to see what they do against Luminosity tomorrow, because these are 2 teams that we said maybe be the most improved coming out of Vegas.
Well, they most certainly should be. That's it for the McCasters area tonight. To close out primetime, though, Benson and the boys.
Thank you very much, Jack. Fantastic casting, as always, for a fantastic series. TP, I want to start with you there. Didn't really go as many people would have expected it, but Envy, I have to ask, is JCap Optic Gaming's kryptonite? We talk a lot about Aches being the kryptonite. Is it Cap?
It might be, man, but realistically, it might be more like John and Apathy. They just absolutely decimate them every single time they play. It just seems like the pressure, especially in those respawns, are just a bit too much for Optic to handle. It sounds weird just hearing that come out of my mouth, but it just is what it is at this point. Dominant in hardpoint is Envy.
Merc, as soon as you sat down on the analyst desk, you looked at me and you said, what did everyone else predict? I said, they thought Optic was going to win. And you said, fools, Envy's taking this one. Why were you so confident?
It just seems like Envy loves playing Optic Gaming. I mean, they beat them round 1 at the Call of Duty World Championships last year, and I think that just builds confidence. People just aren't afraid of playing Optic Gaming anymore. And this Envy team, I mean, they're world champions for a reason. They knew Vegas obviously didn't have the practice coming into the event. They practiced a ton coming into this one, and they just look really good heading into tomorrow.
I mean, we talk about practice. One of the big players who wasn't able to get as much practice due to, getting married. Pretty good kind of reason not to be able to practice was, of course, Apathy. Of course, congratulations to Apathy. And speaking of him, he's down on the floor with Chris Bucket.
Thank you so much, Benson. I'm here with a married man. We got Apathy, and Apathy coming into Vegas. We all knew you were taking some time off, getting married, but coming into this event, it looks like you're all new beast. You're coming back just like we saw you close out Black Ops 3. How do you feel the team is playing as a whole right now?
We're playing really well. Like you said, we were really under practice going to Las Vegas. After placing bad, it gave us the fire, and we were allowed to put in the time again, and we definitely put in a lot of work to make sure we come here prepared.
And we saw you. You finished outside of the top 8 in Vegas. Right now, you're guaranteed top 6, but you'll have to be playing against Luminosity, who has not dropped a single match yet in this tournament. How do you feel about your competition coming into this winter semis?
I'm feeling really confident. I mean, the squad's been playing great. We've been playing great as a whole. We fixed a lot of mistakes. I know they're going to be a good team, but I'm pretty sure we're going to put up a good match.
Before we leave the venue, everybody wants to know your thoughts on this matchup in particular. You played against Optic Gaming, a old school rivalry going all the way back to the beginning of Call of Duty, and a lot of people are calling this the esports classico, at least in the Call of Duty scene. What's it like playing against Optic Gaming, and how do you feel you match up in this game in particular?
It's always a great time. It's a really good matchup. It's always a really good match, and I love a good competitive match. It's fun, and like I said, it's really close, but overall, it's always fun playing them, so yeah.
Well, I know we had a lot of Optic fans here in the crowd, but plenty of Envy fans here as well as watching back at home. Anything you want to say to all your supporters?
Thank you, everyone, for sticking by and supporting us since day one. Really appreciate it.
The Beast is back. Apathy putting on a show for us. It's going to be Envy in your winners semifinals tomorrow morning. But before we close out the night, we got to hear our final thoughts from Benson and the crew.
Envy definitely looking back on form. They managed to kind of shake off those cobwebs from Vegas. Practice has been definitely a keen routine for those guys, and now they look back on top. Let's take a look, though, and just recap everything from today with our winners bracket. You can see those results that came in. FaZe Clan, a 3-1 victory over Team 3G. That means we have FaZe versus E United. What a game that's going to be. Over on the bottom side of things, Team Envious versus Luminosity. Luminosity with a 3-1 victory, of course, over Rise. I mean, brief kind of conversation on that top one. FaZe versus United, Merc. I feel like that at this point. Which way do we go?
It's two of like the hottest teams coming into this weekend from sort of their online results, and FaZe just look to sort of, you know, adapt very well. When they don't win respawns, they pick up those search and destroys right back into the game. United, though, showing some resiliency, reverse sweeping Splice. That shows a lot about their character.
It definitely does. Then on the bottom side, of course, Team Envious versus Luminosity. TP, which way are you leaning on that one?
Well, that one persuaded me pretty well. I'm going to pick Envy.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Team Envious definitely looking very, very talented. I can tell you some results from elsewhere. Team Infused 3-1 to Evil Geniuses in the losers bracket, so Evil Geniuses have now been knocked out of the CWL Atlanta Open, and as well as that, Allegiance 3-1 Mind Freak. So Mind Freak will join Evil Geniuses. They are out. But we can take a look at the schedule to play on a Championship Sunday.
There's no better feeling, but I think the biggest thing that we've learned through the past tournaments is that first game of the day, you have to come out hot. It means so much, especially those guys in the losers bracket. If you want to get that momentum going, that's where you start it. And for those winners, if you lose that semifinal matchup, you're sort of facing a team who's won a few matches in a row, and that could be a very difficult matchup. So, you know, get to the venue early and warm up.
Well, let's take a look at Championship Sunday's schedule tomorrow. Of course, we're going to be kicking off with so much action. As I said earlier on, every single winner's bracket matchup will be on stream. We kick things off at 10 a.m. Our winner's semi, FaZe versus E United. That is a showstopper to kick off a Championship Sunday if you've ever wanted one. Followed, of course, by Luminosity versus Team Envious. Then we have our losers round 6, our winner's final, our losers final, and our grand final as well. That's 5:30 p.m.
No, I'll see you at 5:30 a.m.
Definitely won't. Definitely won't. I'm going to be tucked up in bed, ready for sleep. But before we go, I'm just going to go down the line. I want you to just give me one word who you think, or maybe a sentence, if you will, who you think is going to walk away as champions from everything you've seen this weekend at CWL Atlanta. I'm going to start with you.
Oh, that's a tough one. FaZe.
FaZe? Chance?
E United, let the world burn.
Wow, that's an interesting one. Merc?
I think after this series, I'm going to lead towards Envy. They just looked very, very solid.
And that is why CWL Atlanta Open has been fantastic. 3 of the best analysts in the business, all saying 3 completely different teams. It's been a wonderful day here, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow on Championship Sunday. Bye-bye.